Hi, I'm Morgan Housel. I'm the author of the book, The Psychology of Money. I've been a financial writer and investor for my whole career. And in these videos for Grab, I want to share a few things that I've learned along the way and how you can manage your own money in a better and more effective way. And now let me start with the good news for you, which is that you don't need to be a genius to do well financially. Let me repeat that because I think it's so important. You don't need to be a genius to do well financially, to save a lot of money, to retire on your own terms, to avoid some of the biggest mistakes that people make in their financial lives. Doing well with money doesn't require going to the best college or being really good at math or knowing the right people, having the right connections. We often think it does because that's what the financial industry has led us to believe. But doing well with money is not about what you know. It's not about how smart you are. It's just about how you think and how you behave. I'm a writer, so I like paying attention to other writers. Let me tell you a recent story that I think really shows what I mean. John Willard was a local news reporter for over 30 years in the middle of Iowa in the United States. Now, nobody becomes a local news reporter to make a lot of money. It's a very hard industry where workers get paid very little. John allegedly never made more than about $35,000 per year, which is about half the average salary in the United States. But when he died a couple of years ago, he left $3 million to charity, which is a lot of money. So how does someone who makes half the average wage die with something like 10 times the average savings of his peers? Now, it wasn't inheritance or lottery winnings or anything like that. Someone asked John's brother where he got all the money, and his brother replied, quote, "He just saved and invested really well." That's it. He just saved what little money he could. He invested it simply, and he waited a few decades for it to grow into a fortune. And that's it. That's not the simplified version of the story. That's really the entire story. And anyone can do that. You don't need a fancy college degree or an understanding of complex financial formulas. It's nothing like that. What John had was something different. He had patience. He had humility. He had discipline. He had a low ego. He understood himself and his own goals and his own risk tolerance. That's what you need to do well financially. And here's something really important. 90% of doing well with money is behavioral. It's just how you think and how you behave. The other 10% that's technical and complex is what the industry spends all of its attention on because it's so intellectually stimulating for really smart people who get bored with the simple stuff. Look, I think the financial industry talks too much about what to do and not enough about what happens in your head when you try to do it. And almost a week never passes that we hear of some sophisticated hedge fund on Wall Street that blows up and loses a lot of money. They're the smartest financiers in the world, and they can lose everything during a period when normal people like John make a fortune. It's all because of how you behave matters more than what you know. Now, let me give you an analogy showing how important I think this is. Imagine a doctor, a medical doctor. He's brilliant. He went to Harvard Medical School, let's say. He got the best grades. He becomes famous for his medical research. He understands biology and medicine better than anyone else around. But let's say he doesn't have good control over his lifestyle. He doesn't eat very well. He drinks a lot. He never exercises. He's stressed out. He doesn't sleep enough. Despite knowing all the complex details of medicine, he's probably not very healthy. Now imagine someone with no medical training at all. They don't know anything about biology or chemistry. They've never taken a health class. They don't know anything about medicine. But they eat right, and they exercise, and they sleep 8 hours. They don't have a lot of stress in their life. That person, not the brilliant doctor, is probably going to be pretty healthy. And money is exactly the same. It's not about what you know, it's about how you behave. So in these next few videos, I'm not going to show you any complex formulas. I'm not even going to tell you how to manage your money. I just want to tell you how to think about money, how to think about greed and fear and risk and opportunity. I want to give you the right mindset so that you can begin understanding the 90% of doing well with money that isn't about what you know, but how you behave. These topics tend to be ignored by schools and industry financial courses for two reasons. One is that they can't be summarized into charts and formulas and math, so they're really hard for people to teach and to test for. The other thing is that they seem too simple for really smart people to take seriously. even if the simple things matter more than anything. And because of that, I think it's so common that ordinary people overlook the most important parts of being successful with money, even if being successful is not as hard as people think. So to overcome that, I'm going to tell you a series of stories about dealing with money that makes it easy to understand the behavioral side of our finances, that hopefully you can empathize with, and also pretty fun to listen to and share with other people. So let's do it now. In this next video, I want to tell you a story about what I call the highest form of wealth.